Welcome to the ADK Rock and Metal channel. I'm Andy, and I am pleased to be joined by three quarters of For the Hornets. We have Lee, Ads, and Gabby. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Yeah,
How are you doing?
really
Good.
good. Good.
Thank you for joining us. We don't often get bands on us quickly because your Metal to the Masses heat was a matter of 4 days ago. How did you think that went? How did you think the show went?
I'm waiting for someone else to jump in because it's always me. Go on, Lee.
Oh man, I was about to say, go on. Yeah, no, I think it went really well. It's we love the venue. We always love playing Club 85. Yeah, really good show, really good sound, great crowd. Yeah, absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it was a well-attended heat, I thought. You know, some of the others have been, not as many people there as that, but that was a really good attended heat, and the sound was great as well for all the bands.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I think the thing is for us playing a band competition in general, it's always a bit like, we're not really there for the competition. It's more for the gig. And I think when you're playing something like Metal to the Masses as well, when you're a band like us, I think there's always that extra bit of, oh gosh, like we're going to stick out like a sore thumb. But we just do what we always do. And I think we did what we always do. And I think people either got it or they didn't. And that's great.
Yeah. I thought you had a great set, obviously, but for the viewers, I'll just say I've probably seen you, a dozen times over the last 4 or 5 years, and I think you're a really top band. Not my usual genre of music, but there's something about you that is very entertaining, very captivating, and I love watching you play live. Love your recorded material. Which sort of leads me on to one question. I found it difficult when we was doing our little sort of post-gig sort of review of describing your sound, categorizing you into a genre. What would you say to that? How would you describe your sound to someone who doesn't know?
It's funny because we were having this argument at rehearsal last night, weren't we? About me saying, look, we're really not a metal band, and I'd say, well, no, we are, and I'm saying, no, we're more punk, and I guess that's the thing, is that it's really hard to pigeonhole what we actually do. And we've got this nice saying, haven't we, that we describe ourselves as genre fluid, because we're not tied to any particular type of music really. We'll as long as we like it, we'll perform it really. I think as far as songs that we write, songs that Ads write. Let's be honest.
I think a lot of bands, we're really varied. All of our songs are completely different, and they're all really varied. But I guess we feel ours actually are. We've got some real metal screamo ones. We've got quite a lot of rap, and sometimes we get the trumpets out. Yeah, I think we're pretty varied.
Really, yeah. I know sort of a bit about the sort of band history, but I certainly don't know where the name comes from. So, can you sort of take us back to the beginning, how the band formed, who formed it, and where did the name come from?
So me, Lee, and Rod were in a band. Gosh, I don't know how many. It was a while ago. It was it's called the Von Nitros, and they were kind of like garage, surf, rock, and it kind of disbanded a bit. I think because like our musical differences were a bit too much with a couple of the other members, so we sort of split off a bit. But me, Lee, and Rod really enjoyed playing together, so we just said, do you want to start a new band? Not really knowing where it was going to go, and it just sort of evolved really. I think we sort of started out wanting to be like sort of more grungy, but then I kind of took hold of the reins of the songwriting, and obviously then I added in the rap, and I added in the more metal-y stuff, and obviously then we brought Gabby in, and actually I think that kind of like, if we had got in a more metal-y guitarist, then I think we probably would have ended up going a lot more metal than we are. But because Gabby, I think is more like rock, like sort of that sort of stuff, like the Who and sort of stuff like that, like blues guitar. It actually kind of it gave us that different sound. So I was writing metal songs but giving it to a rock guitarist. That's kind of how the sound developed. And like, yeah, the name, that was Rod, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he said it was like an address, like for the Hornets, like yeah, for the Hornets. So we sort of, yeah, came up with it. Yeah.
We struggled to get a name that wasn't taken, or like if you Google it, it's not someone else. So we came up with loads of really good band names, but like they're all taken. And yeah, for the Hornets, it literally means nothing. So it's, yeah, if you Google it, you get us.
Good, excellent. You kind of touched on sort of 2 points from our next couple of questions, actually. I was going to say, what was the songwriting process? I think you said, Ads, you kind of took charge of the songwriting process in the early days, and we spoke about that. Do the other members sort of add their parts, add their contributions to the songs?
I think it's kind of a case that I bring like the bare bones of it, like the general like structure, like the riff, the lyrics, and like the general feel of the song, and then everyone will kind of put their own touches on it, and then we'll work on it together, and it'll be like, you know, oh, actually it'd be really cool if we have this bit here, and I'm trying to think of an example. There's
well, Shake It's quite a good example, I think. Just the chorus of Shake It, you know, because I think that's something, you know, you came with the structure of the song, but I think the chorus we did work on to try and get the right kind of change in it to make it stand out a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. And I think actually as well, Take It Away, it sort of, it just kept plodding along, and I was like, it needs to do something. And then Gabby kind of came up with that middle bit where it breaks down the and then that kind of just gave it that extra little middle 8 bit. So we've had a couple of moments like that where, you know, I've gone, I don't know what to do with this now, and we've all sort of come up with things in the room together. Sometimes I'll come in and say, this is how the song's going to go, and that's it. I don't want any, you know, but I prefer it when we all work together, because then I think that's when we actually get more of a whole band sound.
Oh, yeah. I certainly hear a lot of Lee's bass in a lot of your songs. I mean, often, you know, the bass is kind of just there in the mix, sort of, you know, the low end sort of driving the songs, but, you know, many parts I think of it, it's sort of Lee is the sort of lead instrument in certain sections of certain songs. That's really good to hear.
I think like a lot of bands do what we're doing would have 2 guitarists. And I think by us just having one, it gets a lot more sort of catchy. You can hear all the instruments so much better.
We did think about getting a second guitarist quite at the beginning, didn't we? But it wasn't necessarily the sound. It was just that we were already so tight, like as like people and as a band, and we felt that if we added someone else, it might ruin the banter and stuff, and like that kind of, because we kind of click. Like, it is really weird. Like we do pick up. I think we work so well with each other. I think because we played for so long that we just kind of pick up songs almost like that sometimes. So I think adding another extra person in would just have ruined that dynamic.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have a go at guitar in your ads, but like live, yeah, it's a waste having you on guitar live. You've got to go on front, man.
Yeah.
You talked about a moment ago about Gabby being more of a sort of rock guitarist than a metal guitarist. Strangely enough, he had a pick in his hand, but that's one of the rare occasions. You don't play with a pick, do you? That's something I've not seen before.
Yeah, generally I don't.
I'm often looking, thinking, it sounds like he's got one, but I can't see that he has. And I mean, your guitar sound is very unusual, and it's great. You know, tell me more about that. What's the thinking behind your playing style?
I don't think there's much thinking about it, really. I think it's just something over the years I've just developed. You know, just playing. I mean, I used to do a lot of finger picking and stuff, and I don't know. It's just the way I play. And I have seen a few other bands. Ads, I think, pointed one out the other day. They always, you know, he's not using a pick.
Yeah.
So there are a few of us around. I do use the pick on Salieri.
Yeah.
Just to get that picking bit right. Otherwise, I fumble around with it otherwise. But generally, I don't know. It's just a preference. It's there's no rhyme or reason. But I think it does probably limit some of the things I can and can't play. Can't do any shredding.
It's funny because when you had your audition with us, I was like, because we had like a really punky song Kamikaze that we still play every now and again.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is really fast. Like, I don't know if you're going to be able to do it without a pick. And you were like, just watch me. And you did. And I was like, fair enough. All right, cool. And it worked. Like, it was original. It was different, and it worked.
Yeah. Sometimes my fingers do pay for it though.
Cheers for that. Here's a question I often ask bands, especially those that have been around a while and got a catalogue of songs. Which one is a mainstay in your set? Which one's the first one on the set list that you always play, be it a band or a fan favourite, and you'll probably always will?
Comfortable, probably.
Yeah, we usually end on comfortable, don't we?
Yeah. Are You Sitting Comfortably is what it's actually called.
Yeah.
We just write it comfortable. It's called comfortable. It's easier to write.
One of my faves, as you sure you know.
Yeah. The thing is, I think what's great about it is that you can play it at a heavy gig and you can play it at like a less heavy gig and it still goes down just as well.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like with Shake It, like that we didn't play that at Metal to the Masses, much to Leslie's disappointment. But it just wouldn't have worked at a metal show. Like, it's just not that sort of a gig. So we don't always play that one. But I think, yeah, Are You Sitting Comfortably is always there.
Yeah, excellent. Your latest album, which came out, was it tail end of last year?
Yeah, like October, yeah.
It's called Fix. It's got some very sort of personal lyrics, from the heart lyrics, sort of very open lyrics, which I assume are yours, Ads.
Yeah.
How can I put it? Were they sort of expressing your feelings and your life at the time, or is it sort of just a generalisation for the topics you cover, or are they as personal as they sound?
They're all pretty like from the heart. They're a lot of the time it will be I'll take whatever I'm feeling at that point and I'll put it in there, or I'll take myself back to a time where I was feeling like that. And they're probably the most open I've been in a song, in any songs on this album. It was just a given to me. I've always wanted. That's why I got into writing music in the first place. So I was always going to be like that.
It's sort of an expression of sort of cathartic release. Is that the right sort of term, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just, I think it's a mixture of like that, and also I always find that just being open about these sort of things, like with anything, like be it coming out as bisexual or coming out as gender fluid or just anything. Like people say, like some people I think, why does everyone need to know? And like, no, not everyone does need to know. Not everyone who does need to know that I suffer with depression and anxiety. But the thing is, there'll be that one person that sits there, and you say that stuff, and it's like, oh, I've gone through this, and they'll go, oh my Christ, like I've gone through exactly the same thing, and they feel like they're not alone in that. So if I can just help, like what I've always said, if I can help one person, then that's a win for me. And yeah, it was very cathartic. Recording it was the big thing. I was like, channeling all those aggressions and all those feelings and putting them down, and yeah.
I don't know what time of year it is, but you did tell me that your 100th gig was Strawberry Fair last year. Is that right? Now, as far as I know, you haven't gone on extensive UK tours to get to that number. So I think 100 shows for a band who doesn't essentially tour is quite amazing. I mean, you're continuing that sort of that workload by doing 3 shows in 3 different Cambridge venues this coming weekend. We're now talking at the beginning of May. I mean, that's like a Las Vegas residency, isn't it?
It is a
That's
bit,
Henry.
yeah. Go on, Lee.
So it's what promoters always tell you not to do, is that do shows close together, and we're doing exactly that.
Yeah. It's different bills as well. I think, you know, not exactly sort of an eclectic mix of bands that you're playing with, I think, on those 3 shows.
Yeah, we're playing 3 totally different sets. Like Friday we're supporting Rage Against the Machine and Audio Slave, definitely the actual bands.
Wow, that's amazing. Cool.
We've made it now. And then you've got like a punk all dayer, and then like a Strawberry Fair benefit on the Sunday, which we rehearsed for last night. And just to really mix things up, we did a total random song generator thing. So we put 20 of our songs in a list and then rolled a dice, and no matter 20-sided dice, and no matter what order they came out with, we're playing those songs in that order. So it's a totally different set as we've never played it before. All these songs have never, we started with one song we've never started before, and we very, very rarely play as well. So actually it was kind of I quite like this. This is fun. Might not do it all the time, but
I mean, that must be, when you have got a bank of songs, such as some bands have, it must be really good to sort of sit there and look at what should we put on this set this time. It obviously depends on the crowd, the venue, and the sort of type of show it is. We're limited with 6, so it's 5 out of 6 for us. But to have 20 to choose from must be brilliant. Final question and final discussion point: what are the plans for the Hornets for the rest of 2023, other than these 3 massive headline shows in Cambridge this coming weekend?
Yeah.
We haven't got any new material on the horizon, so no album launches or anything, I don't think, this year. I guess we're just really focusing on gigging, and we may have a surprise. I shouldn't say anything, but we might have our first continental gig coming up, but it's not confirmed yet. But we may be playing, somewhere other than the UK, which is, if it happens, is going to be really exciting. But can't say anything yet because it's not being confirmed yet. But it's about 95%. We're pretty sure it's going to happen. So that's a really exciting development for us. So if it does happen, I'm really looking forward to going away for a few nights with these blokes and having a good time.
Excellent. Okay, well, anything else to add? Has Gabby covered it for the rest of the year, do you think?
I think so. Basically, we're just looking forward to just having more drinks, really. What is it we say? We're a drinking group that plays music. Is that what you say, Lee?
Lots more local shows. Okay, that just leaves me to thank the guys from For the Hornets. It's been great chatting to you. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you on another one really soon. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Andy.
Thank you.
Bye.